Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan, it's quite an odd story about the disappearance completely, I don't mean physically, but out of the public eye, of Keir Starmer's former right-hand man. Nobody spoke about him in almost a year. This story's just incredible. I was unaware of this story because it was before I was really that bothered about politics. But in September 2022, Keir Starmer's whip, Nick Brown, one of the Newcastle MPs and one of the longest serving from all parties at Westminster at the time, was suspended from the Labour Party. Now, what he was suspended for, nobody knows. But we were told it was very, very serious. Accusations about something he'd done 25 years previously. So that would have been in the late 90s. When this first broke out, he was obviously adamant he'd done nothing wrong. And as time went on, he said he'd done nothing wrong. Now, the weird thing is, apparently these allegations were criminal. That was highlighted by the Sun newspaper in April last year, 6 months ago. And what happened? He was suspended in September 2022. In December 2023, it's a year and a bit later, we'd still not concluded the Labour parties. They employed someone to come in, an outsider, to run this investigation into these allegations. By December 2023, it had not concluded. So this is 14 months later, after allegations that were meant to have happened something 25 years previous. So by the December 2023, now aged 72, 73-year-old, Nick Brown had decided that he was going to stand down. Now, at that whole time, he'd been still serving his constituents as an independent. But by December 23, he decided to stand down at the next election, saying whenever it was next year, everybody knew it was going to be in 2024 some point, he would not stand for re-election. And because he was going to not stand for re-election, he would resign as a member of the Labour Party. Now what happens after that is quite intriguing, because the Labour Party were asked, what's going on with this investigation? And they said, well, he's not a member anymore. There is no investigation. So they knocked it in the head. So by actually standing down, he's done them a favour, because the whole thing is they're like, well, we don't need to investigate it anymore. And the strange thing is, he never ever contacted the police with these apparent, allegedly, criminal allegations against Nick Brown. So it's just all a bit weird. Now, Nick Brown has said all along, I never done anything. And why have I done something so bad 25 years ago? Is it taking 25 years to come up? Now, sometimes that happens. That can happen. I mean, it was a suicide, and one of the Renfrewshire MPs, Paisley MPs, about that same time scale. If something was to come to it, I'm not suggesting the two things are combined, but let's just say something came to bear about that situation, because at that time there was some serious questions about the behaviour of other fellow Paisley Labour MPs at the time. Then that could take a long time to come out. So all we know is criminal investigation allegations. Their independent investigation into it, over a year, no findings whatsoever. He stands down, and that's it, knocked in the head, right? And then you package that all together, and there's been no contact to the police, right? And what the Labour Party said was, right, if there's any victims of criminality, it's not down for us to contact the police, it's down to them. Now that's a bit dodgy, right? That's a wee bit weird. I kind of don't agree with that at all. But what some people are suggesting, and this is why it came on front of me, is that there's some sort of, and I'll just get the actual wording so I'm not going to see anything wrong here. But, where are we? Yeah, here we are. Keir Starmer's former right-hand man and Chief Whip Nick Brown has disappeared. There appears to be a super injunction, gagging order in place. The press nor any MPs will mention Nick Brown. Why? What's so bad? The public deserve an explanation. Now, that was it. It was just, it was just a random thing that popped up on my X feed yesterday, and I thought, what's that? I'm going to have a wee look into that. And I have, and I'm like, still none the wiser. Now, it was put on, the question was answered by Joan Anderson, who is at the Blade 113. And the bio says, the People's Republic of Liverpool. There's no place like this place. So I don't know what Joan or Joanne, however she pronounces it, what her connection is to this. Is she a Labour Party person? I'm unsure. And then there's a lot of things about asking questions about, I'm just going down the comments here to see if anybody's added anything more. Just there's a strange question asking about Starmer and Lord Ali and their sexuality. One person saying if it was that serious, I'm sure one of the Reform MPs would have used parliamentary privilege now to expose the whole thing. I don't know, there's just nothing suggesting the guy must be a traitor, and all parties have colluded to keep quiet about it because it must be absolutely huge. The Chief Whip to Blair and Brown, he was the Chief Whip to every leader of the Labour Party from Brown forward. But we'll see. And another thing, it doesn't mean anything to me, but when I was Googling them to try and find out, I put in order the news articles from today backwards, and date order to see if I could find anything. And the Pink News, for some reason, they decided to out the guy, I don't know if he's publicly out anyway, as one of the about 13 LGBTQ plus MPs that had said they weren't standing for election. And they went through them all, and I thought, well, that's about, why do you do that? Why does it matter? I thought their sexuality, wasn't a defining factor, but for these people, it does. One other thing I did see was an accusation about, there was a court case back in 2017 where he took the author of a book to court because they claimed, in the ensuing discussions about gays in politics, journalist Matthew Paris declared on BBC TV that Mandelson was gay. Days later, Nick Brown, the new Minister of Agriculture, was accused by the News of the World of paying £100 to rent boys in order to be kicked about a room and admitted to his sexuality. So that, oddly enough, comes into roughly the same sort of time as his apparent allegations, but it's stinking. Stinking. What is the allegations? Why has nobody been ever heard about these allegations, or nothing, even rumours as to what they are? The only thing we are led to believe is they were criminal, but they never called the police. And it took them 14 months until the guy resigned, and the investigation stopped because he resigned. And they had never been able to stand them up. So the whole thing is a bit stinky. And I would suggest that the reason nobody knows is the allegations may have included, spoke about, or have been by someone quite well known. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and notification bell. Give me comments and opinions below, always like them. But most important of all, unless you're the type of person that wants to hide allegations from the public for 14 months and then drop the investigation because the guy removed his membership, then not you, but
everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.